Thankful for your implicit bias. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. Welcome back into the show where we solve the problems of the world one weekly whiskey at a time. Great crew here in the Mr. Lester's top secret podcast. They're located somewhere in downtown Lafayette, Louisiana at the bar. We have Danny Izzo and Chris Castro sitting in the chair right across the table from me. He is the tan, the myth, the legend, the rustic renegade, Caleb Morse, and he's got the box drop. What would you pay championship belt chain on? How does it feel?
Like I need a new mattress. You like that, don't you?
I do. Yeah. That was well played. Somebody ring the bell. That was really well played. If you wonder why he said need a new mattress, by the way, it's not an inside joke. It's because just go look up Box Drop Lafayette and you'll figure it out.
You'll be very happy.
Yes, you will.
Very happy.
Yes, you will. Speaking of being very happy, I was really, 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 really happy with the potential pick for Attorney General that Donald Trump was looking to have certified by Congress in the next couple of weeks. Matt Gaetz had, in my implicit bias, what you want in an Attorney General. Number one, he's an incredibly smart guy. He's a good, sharp attorney. Number two, he obviously has a spine. He is not afraid to go in places that he knows will be controversial and could get ugly. Number three, he's got an axe to grind. And that is exactly what I believe, in my implicit bias, that we need in an attorney general. But that appointment, that potential appointment, looked like it was going to get derailed. I'm curious, first of all, to those here in the TSPL, when Gaetz was announced as the pick, and now it's the first pick. We'll talk about that in a minute. What'd you think? Let's go to the bar first. Who wants to start us off?
Oh, yeah.
You turned into Hey Kool-Aid?
Oh, yeah. Go get him, Matt.
So, Danny, why, right? Why were you so thrilled about the pick?
Because of all the things that you said. He's smart. He's a great attorney. I've loved watching some of the videos of him interrogating people in committee meetings and stuff. I mean, there's a few of those guys that just walk somebody right into a freaking bear trap, and he's one of them.
One of my favorite instances of that is when he was actually utilizing his time to question an FBI, high-ranking FBI official. And he starts asking him about the Hunter Biden laptop. And he starts walking him down the path. And he says, so wait, you mean to tell me that you have no idea where this is? You took this into chain of custody. You don't know where it is. You lost it. And walks him down through the whole thing and says, so you're going to admit that it's real, that you did have it? Yes. And his last sentence is to the effect of, I hereby move to enter the contents of the Hunter Biden laptop into official evidence because I am actually in possession of them. Gavel. Yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for the dun-na-na-na-na meme and the sunglasses and all this and the gangster. Right? I mean, that's what a good attorney should do. Correct, Chris?
I would agree. And I was impressed with the selection of Matt Gaetz. He, like you say, he's aggressive. He goes after it, and he would fulfill the mandate that Trump has set out, and pushing our country in directions that hasn't been pushed. So that's really seems to be the goal here, is something outside the envelope.
So, Chris, as an attorney, I've got some, and you say not outside the envelope. This is not a fight for the faint of heart, correct? I mean, I would think that when you are starting to try and root out the things and the mandate that you mentioned to root out the corruption in the government, it's not going to be pretty. You've got to be aggressive, and at times it's going to look ugly. Is that a correct thought process with regards to how that might play out legally?
Absolutely. I think so. And it's just that it's, his going after it is what is needed. I will say, though, obviously, that the whole issue with all the background issues or the non-issues that became issues, or the stories, let's say, it really demonstrated his own fortitude to back off and to allow the president to pursue the what he wants to get after, and he doesn't want the distraction, and that was ultimately the what demonstrates his integrity and what he's about.
So I've got some thoughts on that. We're going to get to that in a minute, but I actually love that you brought up the allegations. So let's put it on the table, what the allegations against Matt Gaetz were. And I say were because there are some things that we need to know about this before we really start going down this rabbit hole. In 2017, there was an allegation that came out against Matt Gaetz that was then picked up by the Biden administration DOJ, who looked into the allegation that Matt Gaetz had an inappropriate interaction with a 17-year-old, and the Biden administration DOJ said, yeah, the witnesses aren't credible. There's nothing here to prosecute. Where did those allegations come from? Those allegations came from a guy by the name of Joel Greenberg. Now, Joel Greenberg, this is not his first go-round with making allegations of inappropriate relationships, specifically having sex with a minor. In fact, in a previous political campaign, Joel Greenberg lied and said that his opponent, who was a teacher, had the exact same type of interaction. Now, Joel Greenberg today is in jail. And what's really interesting is his sentence was cut almost in half the minute he alleged Matt Gaetz did something improper. Now, here's the really big rub. 2 years ago is when the Biden DOJ said, yeah, there's nothing here. So why are we hearing about this in 2024? Why all of a sudden is this back? I mean, it's not like his name is Clarence Thomas. It's not like he's up for Supreme Court justice. It's not like he's, trying to get appointed somewhere. Oh, wait. We've heard these before? This has happened before where we get these allegations late? This should be something you recognize. Pattern recognition is a thing.
Well, and when you get people who when people win, right, however you want to use that term, or when people succeed, they use the same strategy and the same motivation and the same pressure every single time because it works for them. The first time you use it, in the law room, a courtroom, in business, if you're like, look, if I apply pressure here and do this and it works, I will do it again. Then you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. And it's really hard to change that modus operandi whenever you're accustomed to it working. So you just stick to your guns. Most people don't change.
Here's the real question I have, though. Trump has put out, I don't want to say some controversial, but some appointments that we knew would make some heads explode. And let's be quite honest, if you're listening to this show, more than likely your implicit bias was like, give me the popcorn, I want to watch this. But this one, this is the hill that they have decided to die upon. And the question is, why? I have a theory. I'm curious what everybody else in here thinks.
Well, the Attorney General's position has a lot of power, and you get to look into a lot of things that are otherwise sealed or prevented. So it's not really a mainstream position. You don't see people fighting to be the Attorney General.
I agree. I think I smell something. It stinks. You know what it smells like? It smells like fear. I think they genuinely fear Matt Gaetz. I believe in my heart of hearts that there is a real, genuine worry that if he gets or got into, because it's not going to happen now, but if he got into the AG chair, there were going to be people who might want to move to Europe because they actually put out on their social media, I call him Diddly McSnugglestuff or whatever Ellen DeGeneres called him. Right? Who, by the way, decided to move to Europe pretty much this week.
I love when someone's like, when they stick to their word.
Yeah, thank you.
Know?
Hey, somebody ring the bell. Cheers to Ellen DeGeneres.
Thank you very much
sticking
for
to your
doing what
word.
you said
Yes.
you would do.
Okay, so here's my theory, though, on Gaetz. And I kind of thought this at the beginning, and I wondered if this might be the move. I was waiting on the one appointment that would essentially be the bait. The one appointment that would get all the people who are wolves in sheep's clothing to take the sheep's clothing off. And when they do, you see the hideous, sloppy, saggy, dragging on the ground stuff that you never wanted to see. And I have to wonder if Gates wasn't that pick. Because where I would like to see Gates is Inspector General of the DOJ. He specifically would be tasked with rooting out all corruption. There is no confirmation process. He just appoints him and off we go. So I have to wonder if almost it wasn't, we're going to make you expend your political capital on Gates. There's somebody else in the wings who might even be worse than Gates for the opponents on the other side, that now they've spent all their ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the level at which this chess game is being played is also far above what any of us can really see, right? And whenever they first started talking about attorney general picks and everything else, I heard a rumor, and it was never anything from what Trump said or anything else that I know. And I was like, a rumor about Jeff Landry. And I was like, man, look, that, while he would be a great appointee, what does that mean for the state of Louisiana?
It means that we get our, lieutenant governor?
Yep.
I would love it for Jeff. Jeff, please stay.
Look, you just got
Right?
you just got in here, do some work.
Right.
I'm curious to see who the secondary and tertiary picks are, because there was a good list already.
Sure.
Right.
And I know that Trump's going to go after he's going to want somebody who's a pit bull, because that's what you want. You want someone who's going to get on that bone and not let go, because that's what they're going to have to do. Because every slimy, grimy hand is going to be trying to reach for it and pull it out of the mouth, because they don't want things uncovered.
And it really seems like, if you're seeing any of the writing on the wall, that's where we're headed, that we are headed to knowing things. I want somebody who's ready to say, here's the Epstein list. I want somebody who's ready to say, here's the Diddy list, and here's all the politicians who were on all of it. And they might even end up with the 1 minute finger, we're not going to say where, because it is a Diddy list, that came from Tug in the corner, as we bring you more and wrap up hour one of this week's episode of Implicit Bias.